we stand for from open opposition is the fact that women should not be compelled to take up the responsibility which they do not want to take up, even if they have like embarked on some particular actions with, before then, even with their consent. We still feel they should not be forced. They should not be forced, especially with money, to take up such responsibilities. So Duke in analysis told you, like, he analyzed on why women should not be compelled with whichever monetary incentives on 3 levels. He told you how this strengthens patriarchal norms in which the world in which we live in today is currently fighting. He told you like how it makes women substitute and how this is very wrong. And he told you like why monetary incentives in and out of itself, especially for people to take up unnecessary responsibilities which they do not want to consent to, is very bad. So on another level, he told you like how surrogacy comes with a lot of responsibilities and why no one should be compelled with whatever incentives to take up such responsibilities to the extent that they do not want to take up such responsibilities. So a very big clash that has existed in this debate. So these guys almost like make debate look like a kind of priority that the state should embark upon. So should we prioritize like protection of life of mothers who are already living versus like fetus versus fetus that we in our contention are not like life that the state should protect? So we'll show you. Mothers already exist. I'll show you why like even the life of these mothers who will be surrogate is at risk when they carry pregnancy, like on the further analysis on Duke's point on responsibility. But let's start with this first. So on the first level, so fetus in our contention are not living beings, and states like bear no obligation of protection on them. And states like engaging reasons why like state protect the citizen, like state protect the citizen like because it benefits from them either in the short run or in the long run. So until these guys come and show to us like how states have benefited from fetus, and even if these guys want to look like in the future how they want to predict, there is no how we can predict that the state will benefit from these features, from these fetus, because of like the uncertainty that revolves around their living in life and like being like important and productive for the state. So we have a lot of cases of stillbirth, even when states like have prioritized the rights of these fetus because of like presumptive benefit they get from them over the life and the rights of their already existing citizens that has done a lot of things for them. What we have in a lot of places is that the state still loses out on this level when we have like these fetus that do not really later live in the community. The state loses. It is very, very wrong for state to make this kind of priority. And on this particular whole notion of bodily autonomy, we summarize that going by the last stretch of responsibility that exists. So apart from like the reasons of medical and even rape that exists, like why people want to abort, like the fear of child conception and delivery also matters a lot. So even in the best like technological means to deliver, we still have like a lot of birth related deaths, and the fear of this is even enough for people. It is even enough reason why it is even enough responsibility why women in these like situations do not want to take up. So going on the further analysis on responsibility that comes with this kind of surrogacy. So it limits, apart from like limiting freedom and trauma that Duke gives you like in its attention. So there's like a lot of pain. We deal with the pain that like revolves around you. We think like this kind of pain should not be trivialized as these guys come to put it. And even the fact like the risk of death in the long run. I've told you panel how like even in the best, so these guys might come in closing, they might want to come and bring up how like perfect medical conditions occur for us to get like safe delivery. So even in these conditions that already exist in the world today, we still have like child-related deaths. These guys need to come and prove why it is justified for us to compel a person to take up money to risk his life. We think this is very, very unreasonable. So these guys completely, I asked them a PY on how like does consent amount to and how that does consent for a particular for sex like amount to consent to carry pregnancy. And the analysis faithfulness brought on it is how like whenever you consent to a particular act, you should be ready to face the consequence. We think this is very, very like counterintuitive and against what currently exists in the world today. So even in states whereby we have individuals after being warned several times not to embark like on healthy lifestyles and the likes, whenever they embark on these healthy lifestyles and like they are still not left to they are still not left or they are still not forced like to face the consequences of that. States still give them the opportunity to pursue things, still to live, especially to the extent that the consequences threatens their life, and we have shown you how this particular responsibility threatens life because of great risk. Especially to the extent that these consequences threaten their life, states still give them a chance. What these guys want is that whenever someone has done anything wrong by consent and mistake and like a bad end exists from this act, then those kind of people should be condemned and be made to face death, even when they do not want, even when to their own freedom they want to run away from this kind of thing.
In the event that an imbecile is born and his medical certainty that he will never contribute to society and it causes psychological pain and trauma to his parents, why does the state protect such a person?
So, an imbecile is a life. The reason why we give you on productivity is when like states predict what they will get. An imbecile is a life, and even in the worst conditions. Now, the only reason that these guys want to push us to, so we say, when priority exists that you have to sustain a life, one that will be productive to the state and the other on utilitarian principle and even on moral grounds, because it is very immoral for us to allow two lives to be wasted. When you have to pick the one that will be most productive and for existence to continue. So panel, recognize like how these guys come to trivialize other struggle women faces to make them want abortion, how this amounts to like the infantilizing of women and making them look like people that cannot make generally rational decisions. These guys like engagement on why women want abortion in the society is very, very like it is very, very freaky. What they bring to you only is like in the cases of rape and only in the case of when or when like medical conditions exist. We say this amounts to like the utilization of the whole thing. In summary, we have given you an analysis on various levels like why women should not be compelled. This compulsion is what we are against on any level. People should not be compelled to take the responsibility that they don't want to take. We are proud to do.